And I ask you every now and then when it gets hard, what are you doing this for? Do you know what you tell me?
To help women.
To help women every single time.
Welcome to the Empower Podcast, where wellness meets real life and empowerment becomes your way of being. I'm your host, Sam. Hi guys, welcome back. Okay, this episode today is a highly requested one. I always get DMs asking about how to grow an account as a content creator, or maybe it's your personal brand, your business that you started, or maybe you're in marketing working for a business. Like I always get questions on how to build as a content creator and kind of what goes into it, and a lot of questions around that. So I thought it would be helpful just to kind of have like a full episode to talk all about it. And
let's dive in.
Well, Ian's here.
Hi.
I'm bringing him in because I think what's special, and I don't think anybody really knows this, but
Do I know
you
this?
have been here from the start.
Yeah.
I mean, when we first started dating, I had 2,000 followers.
Yeah.
So you've really seen this business
The trajectory.
Yeah, just grow.
Explosion.
And there's a lot to it. I think from where I started to where I'm at now, it's just been a journey of ups and downs with daily growth. But it's like, I've said this before with anything that you do, progress is not always linear. And so you're going to hit roadblocks, you're going to hit barriers. And with this job that I have, my career, every day looks different. There's always barriers, there's always challenges. And it's like, how do you keep moving forward as a content creator and entrepreneur in this space? So
How do you grow?
how do you grow? Well, let's talk about it.
Let's figure it out. Let's find out.
So I think we should start from the very beginning on just kind of where it started. So back in 2023, in January, I enrolled in nutrition school. I went to the Integrative Institute of Nutrition, IIN, and did the year-long program. At that time, I was also getting my CPT, doing courses for that. But I was doing my pharmaceutical career. For those of you that don't know, I was in the pharmaceutical industry for 10 plus years. And at this time was in sales, but knew that like my heart was set on something different. And so I was like, you know what? I want to go to nutrition school. I want to start sharing about fitness and nutrition and health, and more so holistic health in the beginning. Like I would talk about like holistic remedies and, you know, not so much of what I put on social media now. So it's definitely evolved, which we can talk about that. But I was like, you know what? I want to put it out there and just give this a shot. I will never forget, I reached out to my friend Peyton Baxter. She is a content creator and very successful. She started like years ago, but I sent her a text. I feel like I could pull that up. I still have it on here, but it was basically like, hey, do you have any advice for me? Would love to like pick your brain if you have some time. I want to give this social media thing a try. Like this is my plan. I'm going to nutrition school, getting my personal trainer, CPT. I want to just share lifestyle, like all the things. She met with me on the phone for like an hour. She's so sweet. And I just like took notes. She gave me so many great pointers. One of the pointers she gave me that we can talk more about is like, you have to be like your face on stories. Like you have to talk to the people. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'd never do that. But like little things like that I incorporated. So we can talk more about that. But I also went to dinner with my girlfriends, like my close girls. Y'all know who you are. But I told them like, hey, you know who you are. I'm going to nutrition school. Like this is my plan. And they were like, oh my gosh, so psyched, so exciting. But like I remember that being yesterday. And at that point, like I've always had the mindset, and just like my personality is, when I have my mind fixed on something, like I'm doing it. And I've been like this since I was a toddler. My mother will tell you, if I make my mind up on something, there is no holding me back. I'm going full force. I'm determined. And so one of the questions I got was like, were you scared?
Actually, one of my first questions is, were you nervous at first when you first started posting content? Like, what was your first piece of content where you're like,
So my
this
first,
makes me nervous to do? What was that one?
I remember my first post was my chia seed pudding. And I look back and I'm like, that is the worst editing, but bless you. I mean, it was good for all I knew at that stage, you know? Like it was like my
your editing's
first.
on point now.
Yeah. Like I didn't even know what I was doing. But yeah, it was chia seed pudding. And I think it got like 35 likes. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Nailed it.
Yes. And what's crazy is I feel like a lot of people that start with content creation or building a brand online, it's hard in the beginning. If you don't have a following, but even if you do have a following, maybe it's not people that are necessarily asking to see that. And that was something that I felt in the very beginning was like, okay, I have 2,000 followers, but a lot of them are friends and family. So like I'm putting all these like workouts out, workout videos, recipes, all these things that they're not necessarily asking for. Like I'm sure some people
I'm
like,
going to give it to you.
but I'm going to give it to you. So I had to kind of like mentally push past. So what I did was I looked at it as, okay, I have 2,000 followers, and these are all followers that want to see this content. These are all followers that...
You convinced yourself that?
Yeah, I kind of just told myself, like, I'm pretending it's followers that want to see the content and will take this value that I'm providing them and run with it. I just kind of had to create that mindset and not let that fear hold me back in a sense. And here's the thing, like in the beginning with the content, I had to create structure. And I talk about this all the time. Like structure is everything, writing out a plan and just tackling it. So for me, it was like, okay, I'm posting, and this started in February of 2023. I'm posting 3 times a week. I'm going to try to get on stories every single day. And this is something that Peyton helped me with. But like try to get on stories every single day, talk to the camera and get on stories, which now I do every day and don't think twice about it. But I'm going to be consistent. And that's like one of the biggest things I would say is like you have to be consistent. And we'll talk about that in a second. But in those early content days, it was really just trying to figure out what my niche was. Like I knew it was health and wellness and fitness, but like I didn't know what specifically it would be. Like what audience am I targeting? Like moms, yes. Women, yes. But like, is that who is really going to resonate? Well, I don't know yet. My following wasn't really growing, right? So, I mean, it was months of just like putting out recipes, putting out workout videos, some inspirational stuff, still lifestyle. Like I put a lot of like family posts, actually more back then than I do now. I've kind of like protected that privacy.
The unit
And my kids. But it was really just trying to like figure out what worked and trying to stay consistent.
After the chia seed pudding, at what point, maybe not the growth, but did you think, okay, maybe people are starting to recognize what I'm putting out. They're starting to find value in it.
It took 10 months with not much growth, like maybe 300 followers.
Were you consistent the whole time?
I was consistent the majority of the time. During that year, those 10 months of me posting, not really getting much traction. I was also going through a divorce, training for a marathon. So life was kind of crazy, but I did try to be as consistent as possible. But what I did see was like some followers that would be the same people that would comment, you know? And I was like, okay, well, some people are resonating with this. So I'm just going to keep doing it for them with the hope of being able to like build a community eventually.
Right.
And so I just like stayed consistent. So 3 posts a week, try to be on stories every single day. And then I have shared this story before, but the moment it really took off was after you and I had met. And I would love your thoughts too. So because I honestly don't remember when we met, like, did I talk much about like wanting to grow social media?
No.
What did I say?
Nothing really. You
No.
just started doing more content, but it wasn't like it was more when you realized that you should is when you started to express it more. But in the beginning, you were just doing content and had a little following, and it was
Yeah. I think it was one of those
quiet.
things where I was consistent, but I also had like a full-time job.
yeah, there's also that. And you didn't want to ruffle any feathers.
I didn't want to
with
ruffle
that.
any feathers with my job or anything. So it was like the time that I had, I'm going to be consistent with these reels, but I was still putting a lot of time in my full-time job. So the moment it all changed.
Hold on, I want to ask this. Before the moment it all changed, was there any point in that entire time frame where you're like, I should stop doing this? Did you ever
No.
have that moment? Where
No.
you're like, I'm convicted in this.
No,
I'm doing it.
because for the last few years, I had been wanting to find a new career. I knew pharmaceutical sales wasn't it. And it was like, what am I supposed to do? I knew it was supposed to be something that I was passionate about. And I knew that the health and fitness industry was that. And again, I made my decision and just ran with it. Obviously, at that point, when you and I first started dating, like I wasn't at a point where I was like, okay, I'm going to do this full time. Like I wasn't even getting any money for it.
Right.
I was spending money on nutrition school every month, like my bills, to try to like get the credentials to have the credibility. So it was just kind of like a work in progress towards an end goal at that time. Today's episode is brought to you by Dream Recovery, the ultimate brand for optimizing your rest and recovery. As someone who is about creating a healthy balance in all areas of their health, I know how much good sleep transforms your performance in your everyday life, and Dream Recovery takes it to the next level. Dream Recovery's innovative products are designed to help you wake up feeling like your best self, whether it's their Dream Strips, which I personally use every night, that help you breathe better and sleep deeper, or their Dream Tape Plus, infused with anti-aging skincare to promote nasal breathing and glowing skin. This brand is all about helping you feel refreshed, restored, and ready to conquer the day. I personally thought mouth tape was just a trend, but decided to try it out anyways, and I kid you not, you guys, after a few nights of using it, I noticed my sleep improved and my energy increased. I really could see the difference on my Garmin watch and saw my REM and deep sleep cycles lengthen, which was wild to me. Bonus, if your partner snores, slap some mouth tape on them because Ian even stopped snoring. I love that Dream Recovery's mission is rooted in the idea of awakening our full potential, because when we sleep better, we do better. So whether you're an athlete, a busy parent, or just someone trying to prioritize wellness, Dream Recovery has the tools you need to level up your recovery game. Visit dreamrecovery.io and use the code SAM15 at checkout. What's crazy is when we were official in November, it was like a couple weeks later when things really took off. So to share the story on the algorithm, when it picked up with Instagram and I started gaining a following. So I had ran the Nashville Marathon.
You're welcome.
Ian is the one that pushed me to do it. I ran that and I filmed it. And I filmed the whole thing, me getting ready, me stretching, me headed there, the whole race up until the finish line. And I made a little reel. I had posted it and like it got some traction, but nothing crazy. I went into a surgery. I got my breast implants replaced November of 2023. When I woke up, I was on medication, obviously. A few hours later, checked my Instagram, and I was up like 3,000 followers. And I was like, wait, what? And I was kind of loopy. I was out of it. And then I looked an hour later, and I was like up another 2,000. And it was like, it kept on building. And then I think it was like the next morning, it was like 9,000 and like it just kept on growing every day. I would say like it was high and then it just kept building like 1,000 each day. And I was like, this is crazy from that reel. I mean, it got so many views, so many likes, so many comments. And what it was, I think, were the comments that were helping that algorithm pick up, because people were like, oh my gosh, you're wearing makeup, running a marathon? And then a lot of people were like, she didn't even run it. She's not sweating on her face. Like it was a lot
she
of people.
doesn't sweat. So we could dive into
I really
that.
don't sweat on my face. I've mentioned this before. And then there was like another group of people that were like, you're so inspirational. Like you've had kids, you're running a marathon. A lot of people that were like, oh, look good, feel good mentality. So a lot of comments, a lot of disagreements and arguments within the comments towards each other.
It's people going at each other for like
it was just
crazy.
wild. It was a lot. But that really helped the algorithm. And like at that time I was running a lot. I just started doing like more running content. Again, kept up with the recipes, kept up with like the lifestyle things, and that started picking up. And then I think in December, like the next month, I had like 25,000 followers, almost 30,000 followers, which was crazy. I mean, it took off.
And then what?
Well, then I started getting a demand for one-on-one coaching. And I graduated, obviously, a year later from nutrition school, got my CPT. And so I opened up my one-on-one coaching platform. And I mentioned this before, but this was, I think, in March. And again, still was in the pharmaceutical career. I opened up my one-on-one coaching, had so many applications on the wait list that I was like, okay, this is overloaded. I love helping women. How can I reach more? And so behind the scenes is when I started creating the fitness app, which launched 6 months later or 5 months later in August. So that was in the work of progress too. So my business itself was building, but then like the content creation side, I still wasn't getting paid for anything, hadn't done any brand deals, but I kept on being consistent with an end goal to hopefully do brand deals, to hopefully monetize off the content that I'm putting out there. And so I kept persistent with the content. And I think it was like December, so January of 2004, December of 2023, when it really picked up. And I was like, this is my niche. I am staying consistent, and I'm going to be leaving pharmaceutical sales this year, like 2024. I like made it my New Year's resolution. We're going full force all in, because I started getting the following, and I was like, okay, this is what I needed. And I wanted not just the following. And I will say this, I remember there were people in the very beginning, like quote unquote friends or people that knew me, that were like, oh, you bought followers. I am so happy to say,
Literally never bought a follower.
I have never bought a follower, and I will never buy a follower. I didn't care how long it took me. I wanted my following and my community to be authentic and real. And of course, there's like bots and stuff
and very engaged,
fake profiles. But yes, I want people that are engaged, that want to be there. And I wanted to build a community to help empower women and help women. Like that was my end goal. So I didn't care how long it was going to take me. Luckily, things really did take off though. So I was like, I'm going to be consistent. So I would say for somebody that is wanting to grow and stay consistent, here are a few things, a few tips that I would say. Pick a niche. It doesn't matter how saturated it is. There are always going to be creators in the industry that are successful because they bring value and they're marketed to a specific niche. So find that niche. For me, I think it's women that are either moms or wannabe moms that are trying to balance it all, that want to make the best decisions they can to fuel themselves, all while feeling good and pretty and loving life. Like, so for me, it was 3 specific posts I would post every single week that targeted that niche in different ways. So every single week I was posting 3 things: a recipe, a workout, or something lifestyle, whether it was like a life lately or like a day in the life or whatever that may be, more to show the home side and personal life. And I did that and continue to do that. Some weeks are a little bit different. Like I might post a couple workouts or a couple recipes, but I still target those same things: recipes, workouts, and the lifestyle side of things. Because at the end of the day, I think that people want to feel connected to you. So it's like, how can you offer a side and show that real side as well? And that was something that I always wanted, was to like be authentic and show the real side. So I think that that's important too, to show the real side of you and show that you are human and you do have bad days.
But you're authentic. I get a lot of messages from buddies. Their wives, a lot of the times, will say they follow you because of how authentic you are, how real you are with what you put out there. I will say, as a testament to you for what you do put out, and watching the entire thing unfold after 2 years, is that yes, you're consistent with it, but you've kept your main mission as the focus. And I ask you every now and then when it gets hard, what are you doing this for? And do you know what you tell me?
To help women.
To help women every single time. And so anytime it gets hard and I ask you that, I can see you kind of calm down and realize like, okay, you're right. It's to help women. That's the focus when it gets difficult or things don't go right or whatever it might be. Every time you realize that when I'm asking you, I always see a shift in your perspective and you're like, okay, you're right.
Yeah.
And just keep that the main focus. And that's what you've done the entire time, which is worked because there's so many women that you have helped, which has been a huge blessing to them. And I think for you, because you did make a career shift and something that you were not doing, and it's very hard at times. And
yeah, I will say it's like, I love what I do, but it's so hard sometimes. And I think because I am such a feeler and helper, Enneagram type 2, shout out to all the Enneagram type 2s listening, but because I want to help women so much and like be an inspiration and offer value, valuable information, I had this like perfectionist mentality of like making it so perfect. And I get in my head about it because it's like, I want it to be the best for people. And it's like, that's something that I've been trying to let go of, is that perfectionist mentality. But I will say too, so I think like finding your niche, figuring out a structure of like how many posts a week, getting on stories every single day. I think for me, my target stories, and on the weekends, it's sometimes less, but I always try to post like 6 frames a day at least. And I always try to like show my face just to be like, hey. And then the most important thing is being consistent. Consistency is key in so many areas, but especially when it comes to content creation. There's going to be days that you don't feel like it. Do it anyways and show that side of you that, hey, I am human. I'm not feeling great. Like I've definitely come on there and said like, I'm not feeling this workout, but I'm going to do it anyways. But like be on there or be on social media and be consistent even when you don't feel like it. And even when no one's asking for it. So like in those beginning stages where you feel like you don't have a following yet that's like wanting to see your content, like I said, pretend all those followers that you do have, or even if it's 0, keep posting with a goal of finding those people that are looking for you that you can resonate with.
Now for content, do you plan it out day to day? Do you plan it out week to week, the whole month? How do you structure it?
For me, it's my biggest thing is any content that I put out there, and this is another tip, is make sure that it's valuable information. So whether you're posting a reel or, maybe it's a carousel post, like a swipe through, like whatever information you're putting out there, content, ask yourself, is this something that somebody can take something away from this and apply to their life that has value and meaning? For me, like with my recipes, yes, right? To better their diet, their nutrition, workouts, yes. Now the lifestyle stuff, I think it's good to show like personal side. Like I don't know how much value that brings, but it's entertaining. So it's like great to have those too. When it comes to planning out, I have in my phone a whole notes page that's like content ideas. And anytime I have an idea, I jot that down. And I have like over 100, I think right now, ideas that I go back to be like, okay, what am I going to film this week? And so I pretty much write out everything. So I have a calendar, and this is what I would suggest for somebody that's really wanting to go with this content creation career is get a big calendar. I have one that I will link in the show notes, but it's huge. And it's, I don't even know how many. It's like, it has to be like 2 feet by 3 feet or something. But
it's pretty big.
It's big. But I plan out my whole month of content. So now I'm blessed. I have brands that I work with that I love. I write out, when those stories are due or when the content's due. I also write out what content I'm going to post throughout the week. So like Monday, I'm going to post my meal prep with me. Wednesday, it's going to be a repost of my podcast. Thursday, I'll share a life lately. Friday, it's going to be a workout. And I do that for every week of the month. That way I have a big snapshot of what the month looks like. And, it's not like all these things in my head that I'm trying to keep track of. And then I also have days where I'm like, okay, I'm going to edit on this day these reels or film this content for this day. So I have to lay it all out and map it all out. And it takes time.
It takes time. And it's also, you don't want to get bogged down on certain days. Then other days you're like, it's pretty wide open. So spacing it out also alleviates a little bit of stress.
It really does.
Sometimes.
It does. Hey guys, okay, quick break because I'm so excited to share a product that's become a go-to of my evening wind down routine, Bon Charge. That's spelled in all caps and pronounced Bon Charge. They're a holistic wellness brand with a huge range of evidence-based products to help you sleep better, recover faster, boost energy, reduce inflammation, and support your body in a really natural, impactful way. From red light therapy to EMF protection and circadian-friendly lighting, Bon Charge blends science with nature, and it shows. The product I've been using pretty much every evening is their red light face mask. You guys know I'm really into recovery, rest, and protecting my circadian rhythm this season, and I've been more intentional than ever about how I end my days and keeping my evenings as tech-free as possible. prioritizing deep sleep, and supporting my skin from the inside out. And I've always loved red light therapy, but I was on the hunt for a face mask that met my standards. And if you know me, you know I research pretty much everything. The Bond Charge red light face mask checked every single box. I use it for 10 to 20 minutes in the evening, cleaning up after dinner, tidying downstairs, or just after I get the kids settled for bed. It's super lightweight, does not get hot, and it combines both red and near infrared light to support collagen production, reduce inflammation, and boost overall skin health. And what makes this one different from others? Well, Bond Charge is the only brand that actually removed the blue and green light, which can mess with your melatonin production and throw off your sleep. Their mask has zero EMF radiation, zero flicker, and it's sleek and comfortable to wear. Plus, it comes with a 1-year warranty, which I always appreciate. Since I started using it, my skin has felt brighter and more awake in the mornings, and it's honestly helped me slow down and prioritize real rest. It's become a favorite part of my evening routine as something that feels both indulgent and effective. Bond Charge ships worldwide, and they're trusted by leading health professionals, and all of their products are HSA, FSA eligible, so you can use tax-free dollars to save even more. Here's how to try it. Head to bondcharge.com and use my code SAMCFIT15 to save 15% off your order. That's bondcharge.com, and the code is SAMCFIT15 for 15% off. One more time, bondcharge.com, code SAMCFIT15. Trust me, you guys will love this addition to your wellness routine. One thing that I will say that's hard is when I hear that people say like, and obviously if a lot of the times these people aren't following me, it's like a reel or something that got a lot of engagement, and I'll see a comment that's like, oh, get a life, like you don't know what hard work is, or oh, you're just a content creator. I wish people could be a fly on the wall of my life sometimes just to see like the hours of work that it really does take.
I can attest to that. It's all the hours.
Yeah.
All
I
day.
mean, 5 a.m. until I go to bed at night. And sometimes, how many times are we up till like midnight or 1 a.m.?
A lot of nights.
Yeah. It's hard because now that I have, as an entrepreneur, I obviously have my content creation, but I have my one-on-one coaching. I have my app. I have this podcast. I'm working on other business things right now. It's hard to juggle it all. Not only that, but it's hard to turn it off because I enjoy it so much. I could keep going for hours, but it's like physically I have to shut it off. Yeah, but that's also a good thing because I enjoy it so much and I love it so much, and I'm helping so many women become stronger versions of themselves. It's like, I just want to keep going, but gotta sleep, gotta eat, and gotta work out. Like right now, I'm actually having a hard time because like life has never been this busy just with this new business endeavor. It's like certain things will prevent me from getting the workouts I want and things like that. It's just hard.
So I'll ask you this. How do you balance working out, content creation, businesses, family life, or is there a balance?
I think that there is a balance. You have to check in with yourself and you got to create a schedule. I time block everything. You guys, I even time block like 5:30 a.m. wake up, 6 a.m. emails, 6:15 to 6:30 a.m. edit this reel. Like I time block and habit stack too, like everything, and it's made life a lot easier. But some days I feel like I can balance it all, and some days I can't. Like for instance, today was so overloaded. I had a 1 p.m. call that I knew I couldn't, I had to reschedule it. It was just too much. So we rescheduled for tomorrow, but it's one of those things where you try to do it all and sometimes you can't, and that's okay. You just got to figure out where you can make, changes for the better. So let's go back and let's talk about when I got my first brand deal and when I started monetizing on content. Do you remember what it was?
Was it Shocks?
It was Shocks.
It was? Oh, man.
Yeah, it was Shocks.
Good pop quiz.
This was again 2024. So to go back in April of 2024, so 4 months after I was like, I'm going all in, I started monetizing obviously with my one-on-one coaching, and I built enough of a business to change out of pharmaceutical sales over to the content creation and empower my brand. So I started doing that full time. And yes, it was scary. And I get this question a lot of how did you know when it was time to, quit your career that you had and then go full time with this? I don't think you ever feel 100% confident, but there was just like this gut feeling that I have that I had that I knew it was time, and I just went in full force and jumped into it. And because of that, I had more time. So many doors opened.
Yeah.
That allowed me to.
You were like half in both of them.
Right. It was like I was half in both of them. But once I was like done with the pharmaceutical career, I went in full time with being a content creator, an entrepreneur with these businesses that I built. And it gave me so much more financial freedom, but also time to create more content that was going to resonate with bigger reach.
Right.
So it worked out great. But at the time, you don't know that. It's scary. You know, I still have some scary days. Like,
I would also say that you manifest everything. So you kind of knew it was going to work out because everything seems to work out when you manifest it. Also, your intuition and gut feeling is pretty accurate.
It is.
You're very good with that.
I make decisions off of energy versus logic and facts sometimes.
That's accurate.
Which part of the energy is knowing the facts and the logic. But I make decisions based on energy, which I think can be a blessing and a curse, because blessing in the sense that a lot of times it's right, but a curse because sometimes it's a little impulsive, but I keep going with it. Keep going with it. So my first brand deal was with Shocks. So at this point, like I said, I had gone in April 2024 full time with this career that I have now. And I did Shocks in June. They reached out to me and I was like, oh my gosh. You know, at the time I was not with a management company. So it was just me. I had to send in the content myself. I had to sign the contract myself, which I had no idea what I was signing. And looking back at it, like I just remember the rate and being like, holy cow, they're going to offer me this.
So much money.
You know, but at the time, I mean, I was just so grateful to do it. Obviously now I'm at a point where, you know, my rate and deliverables look a little bit different, but I was just so grateful and obviously loved Shocks. I've used Shocks, and just to be able to work with a brand that I loved and believed in was so cool. And it was fun to do that. So that was amazing. And one thing I've always said is, and I would say this to you who's listening that wants to make this a career, is be picky with the brands that you work with. I think one of the biggest things to really set yourself apart from other creators and influencers, whatever you want to call it, is authenticity. People will watch your things, whether it's reels or stories, and they will see if you're authentic or not with the brand that you're choosing to work with. And for me, I will only choose brands to work with that I truly believe in and feel passionate about.
And use.
I turn down brands every single day because it doesn't feel right. Not to say they're not a good brand. It just might not align with what I'm wanting to put out there or believe in.
Like I said this before earlier, but there are a lot of my buddies that either they will message me or their wives will message me and say, hey, does she actually use this? And every time, like, she uses it.
And that's what I say. Like, anything that I come on my Instagram and share, brands that I use all of them.
Or I steal it, but yes.
Or you steal them. And a lot of the times too, I use certain brands and say, okay, maybe I don't think this is for me. Yeah. And I decline the offer because I, don't really enjoy it or find benefit from it. So I think it's a good thing to be picky in a sense with the brands that you work with, because that shows authenticity.
I mean, there's been brands that have reached out that were very good and very good offers that you've declined because they didn't align with how you looked at whatever it might be, whether cleaning products or food, what it might be. And it's like, hey, this is not what I would pick for myself.
Do you remember there was one brand like 6-8 months ago that offered like in the thousands that I turned down because I didn't believe in it. This is not going to feel authentic.
No. And to your point, the audience and your following will know, like, this looks a little bit of a stretch. If they look awkward doing the product, they probably don't use the product.
Right. So I think that will go a long ways, is making sure that you're working with brands that you believe in, that you also feel like can bring your following and community some value, which is what I always strive to do. So it's okay to be picky with brands. So when the management company came in was actually like that next month. So this was June with Shocks. I also did AG1 by myself at that point. Had no idea what I was doing. And then management company Trend. So I'm with Trend Management. They came and met with them and was really nervous about it because I was like, do I need this? Like, I haven't really had many brand deals come to me yet.
And then boom.
And then boom. I really was growing a lot at this time too. And so working with the management company, they brought me so many deals, obviously continue to a lot of offers. And they handle everything from scheduling out my dates with my calendar, contracts. They send all of my content in to the actual brand to make sure it's approved to post. They negotiate rates. And I will say, if you are in this spot where you're wanting to work with a management company, or maybe you already are and trying to figure out like what the rates, like as far as the percentage they take is good, a lot of management companies take around like 20 to 30%. I feel like 30% is definitely like on the high end. I would say 20% is much better.
What I would like to know, and I actually had somebody ask me this, but do you ever feel pressure to look a certain way on social media, or do you train a certain way to look a certain way on social media? Does any of that have any influence on what you're doing?
It did a lot in the beginning. I've always been the type to like get up and put on makeup. I've always just like, even if it's like going to the grocery store, like always put on a little something. Like I swear by the mentality of look good, feel good. No, I mean, I definitely post stuff. Like this morning I posted a picture of me like after my workout without any makeup, and totally okay with that. Now, when it comes to physique and like from fitness standpoint, I am my own walking brand. So that is a big motivation for me to get out there and get into the gym, which I don't think is a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. It's a motivator for me.
It's already been a part of your lifestyle.
Yeah.
But to your point, it is a walking brand.
Absolutely.
Because people want to do what you're doing and eat how you're eating and mimic your lifestyle. And
yeah,
that's your brand. So you kind of have to. So I'd say the answer is kind of yes.
Hey friends, okay, putting on my coaching hat for just a second. I am someone who genuinely loves cooking at home. I honestly do not order out much, but I totally get why so many of my clients do, especially the busy moms out there. When you're juggling work, kids, life, it just feels easier. But one of my biggest coaching hacks, getting a few protein staples prep for the week. It sounds so simple, but once you have some home cooked basics ready to go, hitting your nutrition goals and throwing dinner together for the family becomes so much easier. And the question I get asked all the time is, Sam, what cookware do you actually use? What do you trust in your kitchen? And the answer is Caraway. Their cookware has totally changed my cooking routine. Not only is it gorgeous, I have it in black and absolutely love it, but more importantly, it's non-toxic and made with your health in mind. The ceramic coating is free from all the sketchy stuff and none of those forever chemicals hiding in most store-bought pans. And their cutting boards, totally game changer. Made from FSC certified birchwood, no plastic, no BPA, no weird microplastics getting into your food every time you chop something. Also, I love their bakeware. When I'm making egg cups, which I do weekly for my meal prep, or a sheet pan of roasted veggies, I want to spend 0 minutes scraping stuck food out of the pans. I think we've all been there. Everything just slides out so easily, and their food storage keeps leftovers fresh way longer, which is amazing when you're trying to cut down on waste, or when you live with little picky eaters like we do. So if you're trying to dial in your nutrition this summer, just feel more confident in the kitchen and cut out the toxic junk, Caraway is 100% worth the upgrade. High quality, easy to clean, and a brand I genuinely trust. Take this as your sign to toss those scratched up pans and level up with their internet famous 12-piece cookware set. You can shop risk-free with fast, free shipping, easy returns, and a 30-day trial. And right now, you can take an extra 10% off your purchase when you go to caraway.com/SamCFit or use code SamCFit at checkout. That's carawayhome.com/SamCFit. Caraway non-toxic cookware made modern.
Do you ever feel burned out?
I definitely have days where I feel that way. I feel like you know those days.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Just so everybody else knows.
And kind of going back to like what I mentioned earlier, I feel like sometimes I feel so much pressure to be on and like give to my community. Because that is like my biggest thing. Like y'all know community is everything. And you guys that have been there with me through it all, like I love you so much. And I'm so thankful for you and just like what we've built, this community. It's just amazing.
A lot of happy tears.
A lot of happy tears. And with that, because I feel like I want to put so much effort and time and thought and intention behind the content that I create and the programs that I build in my app and preparing for my podcast episodes and recordings. It's like so much energy that sometimes it's like my body and my mind can't keep up. And it's like, then I'll have a day where it's just like, oh, I just feel so run down. And it's like, I feel burnout, and it's like hard for me to like think of creative ideas of what's next for a reel or whatever else. Like, what else can I do? So it's like, yes, you have those days. And that's when I'd say if you have those days, that's where engagement is huge. And that's another big thing, is being engaged with your community and your following on your social media platforms. I love doing like the question box, and I love doing polls. I do polls once or twice a week as far as like how to stay on track, or what leg group or what muscle group are you hitting. I love to hear from my community, and that's, I think, really big too, engagement. That'll help. But I also like to use it to help figure out like next steps. Like, what do you guys want to see, right? Put it out there. Like, what do you guys want to see? I ask that every few months as far as what kind of content, or, you know, hey, recording a workout today. What muscle group do you guys want trained? Or, you know, what content should I post tomorrow? What I eat in a day, a workout.
I enjoy the what I eat in a day because usually when you make food, I get to eat it.
Yeah.
Or most of the time.
I figured that would be.
It's usually my favorite. But I mean, it's very cool to watch and just see the progression of how you have created such a very engaged community from the app, and seeing all the women on there, the fitness app, and, you know, them posting pictures or just commenting with everybody else that's in the app, or even on social media, and all the DMs that you get about, hey, you changed this for me and I haven't done this in so long or ever. And now they're doing it. I'm like, hey, it's really cool to watch, because again, like you said, seen it from the very beginning of you not having a following to now, is like, these are very engaged people that want to see more from you, to see what they can do to better themselves. It's awesome.
Thanks, babe. And you've helped me a lot too. Now that you work with me, it's just been really cool to do this with you. Let's do like 5 minutes of like a little Q&A, because I have a lot of questions from you guys. So how did you learn editing skills? Well, if you go back to my chia seed pudding post, I have made a lot of progress. I use CapCut. I like InShot. Those are 2 editing apps I use. And then also too, like, you can go on the search bar on Instagram, content editing tips, and a lot of like reels will pop up from people that do that as a living, that can like share tips and insight and kind of give you a rundown on CapCut, on InShot, some of these editing apps that will help. And here's the thing, like, I keep getting better every single day, and I'm learning what's working and what's not. How to get over worry/fear of negative feedback, trolls, haters.
There'll always be haters.
There will always be haters. There will always be trolls. I will say, I luckily don't get that bothered. Like, I've never like gotten really upset or cried or like been that bothered, because a lot of the times I like look at these people and I'm like, you look miserable, like, or it's a fake account, or they're hiding behind like not a real name. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, the fact that you're choosing to spend your time and bring that energy over to say something hateful to me, like, come on, man. Like, what are you doing with your life? So I try to like take a very positive spin. The only time I would ever be upset is if my family was involved, if something was negatively said about my family or my kids, which that's never happened. So I'm thankful for that. And again, one of the reasons why I try to keep them private. But I will say, at the end of the day, like, haters are going to be haters.
Do you remember what I told you about negative comments?
No.
Nobody doing better than you will ever talk shit.
Oh, this is true. How to get sponsors. So if there's a brand or a company that you want to work with, just shoot them a DM, like reach out to them, find an email. I used to do that, and it's like landed me definitely some brands. What's crazy is, back in the beginning of my career, like I reached out to brands that I'm now working with that initially turned me down. So that just shows, like, keep going. Ask, what's the worst thing that can happen? Okay, they say no. Just use that as motivation and, you know, fuel behind what you're doing every single day to hopefully have an angle to work with them.
You also have more leverage when they do say no the first time and come back around.
Yeah. And they like to see that you are authentic and you like to use their brand. So like, if you post a reel of them, you using the product, or, you know, pictures of you using the product or whatever it is, like, send that to them and be like, hey, I use you guys in my routine every single day. Would love to work with you. Just see what happens.
What's one thing you wish people knew more about in creating fitness content?
Whether it's fitness content, nutrition, like whatever your niche is, whatever you want to do. It could be like scrapbooking, I don't know. But like having good, clear quality imaging and video is super important. So like if you have a blurry video or bad lighting, it's not always going to get the best
Lighting.
Yeah, lighting's huge. I try to do all natural light. Like I've messed around with lighting before and I've never really liked it. So I always do, which is hard because then I only have a certain window and time of the day to film. That's always the stress at our house. I'm like, guys, I need you out of the house for this hour because the sunlight hits at this time.
It's raining today.
So I will say like making sure, and I shoot everything on my iPhone. Like the only time I use my Canon is for pictures when I do like, the beach or wherever I'm at. But I use my iPhone to film all of my video.
Literally everything.
Literally everything. Are there useful workshops for new young influencers? Listen, here's the thing. I'm sure there are, but technology is so advanced these days that you should not be paying for workshops. Use ChatGPT. Get ChatGPT. Spend time typing up like full couple paragraphs, whatever, about everything about you, what your goal is, what equipment you have, what your niche might be, whatever your ideas are, and ask GPT to quite literally program you a plan of starting out as an influencer or content creator, from ideas to what equipment you would need to,
how frequent you got to post.
How frequent you get. Like, there's just so many advancements, especially when it comes to AI and ChatGPT and like what the internet has to offer, for you to pay money. Like, do not pay money. End of the story.
No, but what you said earlier is the consistency. Because you keep doing it, the algorithm picks up and people will notice your information.
I mean, here's the thing. It took me 10 months. I got 300.
Of consistency.
I got 300 followers within 10 months. But I stayed consistent and the algorithm noticed me and picked me up. So here's the thing. It's not easy. And I will say, back to your question on burnout days, I still have those days every once in a while. But you got to bring yourself back to why you started. And that's how I really want to end this episode, is remember your why. Because on the days where it is hard, or on the days where you're questioning what you're doing, if it's the right move, remember your why. Well, why did you decide to do this? Who is it helping? How is it helping? Why is it helping? And it will bring you back. It will center you. It will give you the energy you need to keep going. And that's what I do, is when I have those moments where I feel discouraged, or maybe the content that I, put together and spent hours editing didn't hit off the way I wanted it to. Hey, if it can resonate with one person, I'm happy. If it can change one person, I'm happy. So you got to remember your why, which, by the way, I feel like a lot of content right now on Instagram, like the polished videos that are like you put a lot of hours into creating, like aren't doing as well. Like that's why I feel like our one-off videos are always getting more traction.
You're always polished.
But at the end of the day, it shouldn't always be around like how many likes, how many views. Like if it's helping some people, like that at the end of the day, that's all that matters. And that's always been my end goal. Well, I love seeing like people repost stories of like, oh, the recipes or the workouts. And it's like, okay,
you do love that.
That's value that is helping somebody. And
they're going to help other people.
Yes.
Follow them. So.
Yes. So, hey, I don't have it completely perfect and right, and never will. I am learning every day. I am learning what's working, what's not working. Things are evolving. Like my brand right now is definitely evolving. So I'm excited to see where this next year will go. But that's why I got to check in with my community and you guys that are listening, because you are the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing every single day. So hopefully that was helpful.
You're doing a great job at it.
Thanks, babe. I'm very lucky and thankful to have you. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. And if you're a content creator, if you're trying to build that brand on any kind of social media platform, just keep going. And hopefully some of these tips and tricks that were shared are helpful. And do not forget to like and subscribe to the Empower Podcast so you do not miss any future episodes. But I love you guys, and go crush today. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with a friend. It really helps us grow and bring you more great content. See you guys next week.